What's going on, everyone? I wanted to make a quick overview video on the Jake's Performance Trick Kit. I installed that into this transmission here. I wanted to make a quick overview showing you where everything goes and what you're dealing with when you get the kit. So with that kit, obviously you're going to be fully disassembling the whole transmission. The first part of the kit, you're going to be rollerizing the rear case. So the kit comes with a wide brass bushing. You're going to pound out your OEM brass bushing, and you're going to pound in the wider one for the rear of the case, and you're going to press it in until it's protruding into the case about 3/30 seconds or 1/8 of an inch. The job of that bushing is to center the bearing in the back of the case. So you put the bearing in, the way you find out, you're going to get the bearing and you're going to get shims. And the way you find out what shim you need, you take your rear case support and your rear thrust, you measure the thickness of this, and then you measure the thickness of your shim and your bearing, and you try to match them. And generally, there's going to be a little bit of wear on this, so you're going to want to go with a little bit thicker. It's usually a good rule of thumb when you're putting this back together. And then you're going to end up assembling part of the transmission and getting your rear center support in. When you get that in, you're able to check your rear thrust, and you're going to be shooting for 0.004 to 0.008 on the rear thrust here. So when you have the rear thrust set up, there's going to be one other modification you're going to want to do to your center support. And here's the center support right here. You're going to want to remove your spring plate right here. It sits on here like this. You take this guy out. You're going to want to take all of your springs off of here, and you're going to set them back into your center support. Now, the kit's going to come with a large washer that's the same size as this. You just set that on there, get your snap ring in, and it's a heavier duty version of this. You can see this one. I have another one here. This one actually contacted the drum that was in front of it. So good mod to do. And at this point, obviously you can do your dual feed mod by removing your little sealing ring right here. And additionally, if you take apart your drum, you can take out your inner lip seal that separates the two chambers. And there's another mod you can do where you drill out the drum. When you pull the piston out, you drill out the drum at an angle, and essentially any fluid that's left in the drum at high RPM, it'll want to go outward, and it'll want to apply the clutch slightly, and you'll end up, over time, it can cause a little bit of harm to your direct clutch. So you can drill that out, and it relieves any fluid that might be still inside of the direct clutch. So moving forward from that, then there is also a 1/8 inch. You can drill out this hole here to an 1/8 of an inch, and that promotes lube flow in the back of the case. So moving forward from that, from your center support forward, your next modification is going to be the heavy duty snap ring. So you'll take out your thin snap ring here, and it'll be about right here in the unit. It's that clutch pack. It's the front snap ring. You're going to want to use the heavy duty snap ring on there and it essentially just reinforces that area of the transmission so it doesn't deflect and snap the case. So if that happens, you got to find a new case. So you don't want to have that happen. Anyway, moving further forward in the unit, the trick kit comes with the billet version of this. So very simple swap. Swap the two for each other. Put the billet unit in, and then that small roller bearing, it goes on top of here, and then you slide it back together, put the snap ring back on. As you move further up inside of the transmission, the pump will be your last modification with the trick kit. You're going to want to pop this little snap ring out, and you're going to pull your purple spring that comes factory in these. Pull your purple spring out, and you're going to put the long Jake spring in. That's pressure relief spring, and it controls your pump pressure. So that was my quick overview of the Jake's Performance Trick Kit. There's a couple other mods you can do, again, like the dual feed, drilling this hole out and doing the relief hole in the direct drum. I recommend those mods. Those are great for long-term, just the unit holding together. There's a couple other mods you can do in the valve body where you drill out a couple little passageways to I guess improve loop flow. I also did the recalibration kit with the block off for the accumulator. This is going in a large truck, so the accumulators are not as important to me. Additionally, there is a line to lube hole that you can drill inside of the pump. It essentially you drill a hole and it bypasses a little bit of fluid through the pump to aid in, I think, more lubrication flow through the cooler, or to my knowledge, it just boosts the fluid flow to the cooler. So that's a good modification to do. It's for converter. It's for the converter. It relieves pressure that instead of going into the converter, it goes through the cooler. I believe that's exactly what it does. So in any event, that was the mods that I did to this thing. Those are all the mods I did. There was the 1/8" hole here, the hole on the direct drum, the hole in the pump, and then one hole in the valve body. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope this helps. I'll see y'all in the next one.